graphs. A bar graph helps make things clearer or easier to understand. We can also compare numbers of things. The height of the bar shows the amount of each thing we are counting. A taller bar has more than a shorter bar. Now, let's build a bar graph ourselves of the things we saw in the park today. On the bottom of our graph, let's put pictures of the things we want to count. First, the swings. Now, the slides. And Elizabeth's friends. On the left side of the graph, let's put numbers, starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These numbers will help us show how many of each item there is. Now, let's build the bars on our graph. Remember, the bars on the graph will show us how many there are of each thing. Let's count the swings by reading the bar graph from the bottom up. There are 3 swings at the park. Now, let's do the same for the slides and Elizabeth's friends. The bar shows us 4 slides. And the bar for the friends stops at 5. There are 5 friends. With our finished bar graph, we can quickly and easily answer questions about the park.
What are there the most of in the park?
By looking at the bar graph, we can answer the question without having to count each item. The tallest bar is for friends. There are more friends than swings or slides.
What are there the least of in the park?
Looking at the graph, we can quickly see that the smallest bar is the swings. So the swings are what we have the least of at the park. With a bar graph, we don't have to count again.
This is my pet, Rags. She's a miniature schnauzer. Do you have a pet? For a school assignment, I built a bar graph, like this. It shows all the different pets my classmates and I own. There were 3 dogs, 5 cats, 2 birds, 2 rabbits, and 1 snake. What was the favorite pet in her class?
The tallest bar was the bar over the cat. Cats were the most popular pet.
What was the least favorite pet? The snake. Ew.
The shortest bar was over the snake. The snake was the least popular pet. Now, could a bar graph be used to show the number of boys and girls in Elizabeth's class? Let's take a look at this one.
That was easy. There are definitely more girls than boys.
If 2 girls moved away and 2 boys moved into Elizabeth's class, what would happen to our bar graph? Both bars are the same height. Now we can see there are the same amount of boys and girls. So bar graphs are easy to read pictures that show us how many. They help us count and compare. There's another type of graph. It's called a line graph. A line graph shows changes over time. Everything changes over time. Your neighborhood, city, and even state has changed over the years. You are taller now than you used to be. The weather is different now than it was 6 months ago. Line graphs help you see those changes over time. They help you compare things as they were and how they are now.
Here is a picture of a line graph. That shows how I've grown over the years. This one shows how tall I was on each of my birthdays over the last 10 years. By using dots and connecting them with a line, we can make a picture of my growth over a period of time.
Reading the line graph is similar to reading a bar graph. Elizabeth's age is shown on the bottom of this graph, and height in inches on the left. Now we can answer questions about Elizabeth's height.
How tall was I when I was 5 years old?
First, find the dot for when you were 5 years old. Find the number that's as tall as the dot. You were about 40 inches tall. The line graph also shows the relationship or connection between two or more things. In this case, the relationship is age with height. The line graph shows that the older you are, the taller you become.
Another type of graph is a pie graph. It shows how much of one thing is in a whole. This is what it looks like.
Look at this pie graph. The whole pie stands for all the children going to Elizabeth's school. There are 4 classes in the whole school. The pieces stand for each of the classes in the school, a part of the whole. Not all the pie pieces are the same size, because the classes are not all the same size.
Which class is the biggest in the school?
The biggest piece of pie is the kindergarten. It has the most students.
Do any classes have the same number of students?
The 2nd and 3rd grades are the same size in this school.
But my school has 6 grades in it.
You can still use a pie graph. The whole pie is just cut into more pieces. The pie graph lets us quickly and easily answer questions about the whole school and parts of the whole. The graphs we have seen all use numbers to help us understand and compare different things. A bar graph to quickly count and compare. A line graph to show how things change over time. And a pie graph to show how much there is of one thing within a whole. There's another way to look